How do you know which God is the real God? This question, simple in its structure, when Moses asked God what he was to tell Israel when they asked him which God had sent him, God replied, "I am that I am." The ancient translators of the Greek Septuagint rendered this, "I am the being one," or "I am the one who is." Essentially, God's response to Moses was, "Tell them that the God who actually exists has sent you. I am the real God. That is who I am." Ultimately, I know which God is the real God because he has chosen to reveal himself. I know the one true God who really exists because he has made himself known. It is through his self-revelation that I can distinguish him from all the false gods and idols of human religion. We know which God is real because God has spoken, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because that which is known about God is evident within them, for God made it evident to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood through what has been made, so that they are without excuse. For even though they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks, but they became futile in their speculations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged the glory of the incorruptible God for an image in the form of corruptible man, and of birds, and four-footed animals, and crawling creatures. Romans 1:18-23. In monotheistic religions, God is often perceived as the supreme being, the creator of all existence. This belief is foundational to religions like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. God has made himself known in creation itself. Though men willfully suppress the truth and choose to deny God and worship false gods, nature, or even our own secular autonomy, we are without excuse. God has left us sufficient information all around us in what he has made, and it is actually ingratitude rather than ignorance that keeps us from seeing it. This is why Paul elsewhere appealed to pagan unbelievers who worshipped anthropomorphic gods. "Men, why are you doing these things? We are also men of the same nature as you, and preach the gospel to you that you should turn from these vain things to a living God, who made the heaven and the earth and the sea and all that is in them. In the generations gone by he permitted all the nations to go their own ways. And yet he did not leave himself without witness, in that he did good and gave you rains from heaven and fruitful seasons, satisfying your hearts with food and gladness." Acts 14:15-17. "He heavens are telling of the glory of God, and their expanse is declaring the work of his hands. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night reveals knowledge." Psalm 19:1-2. "And likewise, for you formed my inward parts, you wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well." Psalm 139:13-14. So in all things around us and within us there is ample evidence to point us to our true Maker. If we could set aside our sinful pride and behold in humble gratitude, we would know to whom we ought to direct our thanks. Everything points back to the true God. Many of the classical arguments for God's existence really just point us back to this fact. The ontological and transcendental arguments, when followed out to their logical conclusion, don't just lead us to a vague notion that some kind of God exists. They lead us to one specific God, the real God who is greater than all others, who governs all things, and who absolutely must be, that is the God of Christianity. The monotheistic perspective portrays God as a divine architect, the originator of all that we see, feel, and experience. This deity is often seen as a benevolent figure, a source of love, compassion, and justice. Yet it's also a figure of authority, setting moral codes and guidelines for human conduct. Diverse as they may be in their customs and traditions, these monotheistic faiths share a common thread, the belief in a single, supreme deity. For monotheists, God's existence is absolute and unquestionable, a divine figure that guides and shapes the course of the universe. In contrast, polytheistic and pantheistic beliefs perceive God in a distinctively different light. Polytheistic views offer a kaleidoscope of divinity, with multiple gods each wielding dominion over different aspects of life, nature, or human characteristics. Think of a cosmic boardroom, if you will, where each deity has their own portfolio of responsibilities. From love to war, harvest to storms, each divine entity has their own unique sphere of influence. On the other hand, pantheism paints a different yet equally fascinating picture of God. Here, God is not an entity separate from the universe, but rather the universe itself. In this view, God permeates every atom, every star, every grain of sand, and every beat of a heart. God is not an external creator, but an intrinsic part of all existence. From numerous gods to God as the universe itself, these perspectives paint a colorful and diverse picture of divinity. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the atheistic and agnostic perspectives. Let's delve into the atheistic viewpoint first. Atheists outright deny the existence of God. They are not necessarily against spirituality or morality, but they see no need for the concept of a divine entity to explain the universe or guide their ethical compass. Science, reason, and empirical evidence are their guiding principles, and any notion of God is considered superfluous. Now let's shift gears and explore the agnostic perspective. Agnostics hover in a sort of philosophical limbo. They neither affirm nor deny the existence of God, simply stating it's unknowable. The divine, to them, is shrouded in such mystery that it is beyond human comprehension. They keep an open mind, acknowledging that there might be a higher power, but also accepting that we may never have definitive proof. For atheists and agnostics, the question of who is God is either irrelevant or remains unanswered. As we have seen, the question who is God does not have a singular answer. Instead, it reflects a vast tapestry of beliefs, perspectives, and interpretations. This is a testament to the rich and diverse nature of our human experience. In our exploration, we have traversed the monotheistic perspectives, which posit a singular, omnipotent deity. We have navigated the polytheistic and pantheistic realms, where divinity is seen as manifesting in multiple forms or pervading all of existence. We have also ventured into atheistic and agnostic perspectives, where God may be seen as a philosophical question or the concept of divinity rejected altogether. Each of these perspectives is a unique prism through which we, as humans, seek to understand our place in the cosmos and the nature of the divine. They reflect our innate desire to grapple with the mysteries of existence, the grandeur of the universe, and the intimate stirrings of the human spirit. In this multifaceted view of God, we find a mirror reflecting our own complexity, our quest for meaning, and our capacity for spiritual exploration. It is an exploration that transcends borders, cultures, and centuries, weaving together a rich tapestry of human thought and experience. Whether God is a divine entity, a cosmic force, or a philosophical question mark, the exploration of this concept continues to captivate us, serving as a profound testament to the depth and diversity of human belief.